Good morning. Welcome to another fabulous episode of Social Media Saturdays. And I am your host, Taria Hodge. Now, this week I have the pleasure to share Social Media Saturdays with none other than Vanessa Collins. So if you weren't on our last episode and you missed Vanessa Collins on the last episode, you definitely missed out on a treat. So I'm so excited and happy to have her on today because we have something special for all of you authors out there. So all of you authors who have books and you're looking for ways to promote your books and get people to your wonderful books so they can learn more about what you do, Vanessa is going to share 5 social media tips for authors. Okay, so I know this is a very hot topic because a lot of authors, I have the opportunity to work with authors, speakers, coaches, people who have books that would allow people to get to know them and a little bit more about what they do in their business. They say your book is your new calling card. They ask me all the time about how to incorporate a social media strategy, for a book launch. Okay, so I thought, well, why not bring on the expert and have Vanessa share with you some of her tips. So before we get into today's broadcast, I'm going to do my formal introduction of Vanessa. Vanessa Collins is a minister, author, speaker, seminar leader, and coach. And she owns Vanessa Collins LLC, which is a business coaching and consulting firm specializing in author publishing coaching, social media branding, and business planning. Vanessa also co-owns Hot Thoughts Publishing Company, and she has personally written and published 4 books, published 12 authors, totaling over 25 books. Now, in addition to that, if that wasn't enough, she has helped several authors start their own publishing and coaching business. Okay, so once again, I'm very excited to have Vanessa on today's broadcast. So before we get started, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to pay this broadcast forward. Look above the video. Click on the Facebook share button. Share this broadcast out on Facebook. Then I want you to go to Twitter. Click on the Twitter share button and share it out on Twitter. And for those of you out there who are doing all this wonderful networking on LinkedIn, go ahead and share it out with your network on LinkedIn as well. Click on the share button above the video. Also, if you are on Pinterest, I know we do have some of our followers out there and they're, harnessing the power of the pin. So go ahead and pin this video to your board so others can see it, okay? Now, we are also taking our questions and our comments in our personal Facebook group. And in order to get to the group, you just simply need to go to smsvirtualnetworking.com. Oh, messed that up. I'm sorry. Go to smsnetworkinglive.com. See, I had to write it down. So once again, to join us in a private Facebook group, go to SMS for Social Media Saturdays, networkinglive.com. And for all of my Twitter followers, you could follow us at Watch SMS Live. So once again, on Twitter, we are at Watch SMS Live. So without any further ado, I'm happy to bring on Vanessa.
Well, hello, Taria, and hello, everyone in our Social Media Saturday. I am so excited to be here. We had such
Yes, and we're happy to have you too.
We had such a great time last time. If you didn't get a chance to watch our Tame the Twitter Beast broadcast from last time, make sure you get it. There's some awesome tips there, and if you have been wondering how to really get a handle on Twitter, I share with you my super secret stalking strategy for really getting a handle on Twitter in as little as 15 minutes a day. So make sure you go back to the Social Media Saturdays and find that broadcast. Now, today we're also going to put a little stuff on Twitter. So we are doing the hashtag social media Saturdays. That is our hashtag for Twitter. So while you are sharing stuff in the Facebook group, I want you to just copy and paste and flip over to Twitter and make sure that you're sharing stuff over there also. Now, for you authors that are listening to me, I want you right now, because you always got to be ready to promote your book, right? So right now, I want you to go over to Twitter, put in something really, really short, like I'm listening to Social Media Saturdays, put the title of your book and the link of your book, your Amazon link, and put hashtag social media Saturdays. And Taria and I will, after our broadcast, we will go and find those on social media Saturdays, and we will share those out with our network also. So if you are an author, make sure you tweet your Amazon link to us using the hashtag social media Saturdays.
Now,
All right.
how cool is that?
I know, right? And listen, we have to use all of those great things out there. So let's get started. I am so excited to share these tips with you. Okay. Well, as always, social media is a tool. It is a tool that goes with your business plan. So every broadcast, I start out with just making sure we understand the bottom line of business as it pertains to our conversation. So today, we're talking about the business of selling your books, of moving your books. So the bottom line is you have a book that you want to get to your customers. And in exchange, you want your customer to compensate you for that book. And as with everything in business, there are 5 major things that you need to have in place. You have to find your readers, and those are your customers. You have to find your readers or make it easy for them to find you. You have to find out what it is that your readers are looking for in the particular niche that you're dealing with. What do those readers want? Sometimes you have to inform and educate and convince your reader that you can meet their needs, that you have the information that they need to accomplish the goals they're trying to accomplish. And then you have to deliver that book in a way that suits your customer. So we haven't even gotten into the social media tips yet, but here is one tip that I have to give to you. If you do not have your book available in electronic format, you are leaving money on the table. Oh my goodness, you are leaving money on the table because so many people want to receive their books via electronic format. So whether that is Kindle, which is the big one out there, Kindle, there's also Nook. You can also do it just in a PDF format, but a lot of people like to have their books on Kindle. I am an avid reader. I love reading, but I have almost exclusively switched over to having Kindle books now because with the Kindle app, you can read it anywhere. You can read it on your phone. You can read it on your tablet. You can read it on your computer. You do not have to lug a book around in your purse or your pocket and all of that. So if you do not have your book available on Kindle, on an electronic format, you're leaving money on the table. And then, of course, you have to have a system in place to receive compensation. So with that in mind, let's talk about some of the tips for being able to expand your brand and sell more books. Tip number 1, Get ready to write this in the Facebook group, put this out there on Twitter. Authors, make sure you complete your Amazon Author Central profile. Now, if you are an author and you have never heard of Amazon Author Central, you need to go right now to authorcentral.amazon.com. Author Central is a free service. Free. That's our key word there. It is a absolute wonderful free service provided by Amazon that provides authors with the ability to reach more readers. You can promote your books and you can interact with your community. Taria, I think you just posted something recently in the Social Media Saturday group and on some other social media platforms that talked about the importance of engagement.
Yes, yes, it's very important that while you're on social media, that you engage with your audience. I see it all the time. People post stuff and they don't go back, and be conversational about it. Okay, so you have to have the conversation. You have to. This is my favorite word. My favorite word is be a resource. That's the word that I like to use. Be a resource. Then you're on the right track.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think even in the post that you had, it was something about building your brand and engaging your audience is the same thing now. There's no difference. You must engage. You must engage with your audience. Now, here's a shot of my author profile on Amazon. And what happens, how people get to this, when you go to Amazon and you look for a book, you'll see the title of the book, and then up under there, you will see a hyperlink where the author's name is. Well, if you have an Author Central page on Amazon, when someone clicks that link, they go to a page like this that has your picture, your bio, and you set all of this up. It has all of the books that you have written. You can put video, you can put pictures, you can tie it into Twitter so that your latest tweets show up on your Author Central page. You can also tie it up where the feed to your blog shows up on this page. And this page, because it's Amazon, of course, it's a very high search engine optimized SEO. So this is a great page that comes up pretty high on Google when someone goes to search your name. So our number one tip, our first tip, is to complete your Author Central page. Second tip, using Facebook groups for book clubs. Now, I was just honored and blessed to be part of the Circle of Love book club. You can find it out there on Facebook if you just search Circle of Love with Regina Cole. She has a book club, and every month they feature a different book. So one month they featured my book, and this was a absolutely wonderful opportunity to connect with different readers, to connect with some new readers. And what I did, we kind of added a little spice to it. I actually taught a 5-week session based on my book, Intensive Faith Therapy. And we did that with a free conference call. Nothing here cost a whole lot of money in terms of promotions. We did a free conference call, and every week we talked about different parts of the book, and every day or so I posted different information about the book, about different lessons into the group. And that stirred up conversation and engagement. and it sold books because people that were part of the book club that participated in our discussions, they bought the book. They either ordered the book directly from me, a couple of people bought it off of Amazon, some people bought it off of Kindle. And what I also did to kind of add more engagement to it is that I put chapters of the audiobook on SoundCloud and I shared it in the book club. So Circle of Love is a wonderful book club. If you have a book, if you are an author, I would strongly encourage that you reach out to Regina Cole at Circle of Love. Also, search on Google and find other book clubs and see what other book clubs are out there. A lot of book clubs are moving to this more virtual type thing. You know, book clubs used to be just folks in the neighborhood, and you would get together over coffee and tea and talk about a book once a week. Well, we are now a global community. So book clubs and that sort of things have gone global. So reach out on Facebook, reach out on Google, and find some of those book clubs. Tip number 3, create graphic content to share about your book. Now, everyone loves good quote graphics, and research has shown that images can result in 85% interaction rate on Facebook, and it increases retweets up to 35%. Now, we have all shared a quote graphic by someone else. Why not share your own quote graphic? Quotes from your book. Now, what you see here on the screen, in our book club, we did the book You Can't Quit Now by Tanya White, and every day as part of our book club, we shared a graphic quote coming from her book. And if you can share this on Facebook, on Twitter, on Pinterest, on Instagram, all of those places are really friendly for graphic material. So this is an excellent way to share your content about your book. Now, a couple of tips on doing your graphic content. Make sure that the name of your book is on there. Make sure your name is on there. Now, these are some early quote graphics that we've done, and we actually, as we started doing more, we made sure to add our Twitter handle to the graphic and our website. And you can do that just with little text down at the bottom, but you want to make sure that you add that so if someone sees your graphic, they can find you. Again, remember, one of our goals for business is that we have to find our customers, or we have to make it easy for them to find us. So if someone sees a really great quote from your book and they want to be able to connect with you, you want to have everything on that quote graphic for them to be able to connect. And we have found that if you put @ in your Twitter sign, people are very apt to go to Twitter to find people. Also, if you have your website on there, people will find you there. Now, how do you do these wonderful quote graphics? Well, here are some of my favorite tools, and there are plenty of others out there. I love WordSwag. Unfortunately, WordSwag is only available for the iPhone right now. But WordSwag is absolutely phenomenal. Oh my goodness, it is absolutely wonderful. And if you check on my website, VanessaCollinsLLC.com, and check in my blog space, you'll actually see a blog that I did about WordSwag. And I actually do a video walking you through the process of how to do a quote graphic on WordSwag. Of course, there's Canva. I love Canva for creating graphic images, graphic content. It is absolutely wonderful. There are a couple of other apps that I have on my phone. Fonto, I love Fonto because you have a lot of flexibility of where you can move your text. And then there's InstaQuote. Again, there are tons of other apps out there and tools that you can use to create your graphic content.
Okay, and Vanessa, before you move on, I just want to add one more to the list. Okay, and this
Yes.
one is a desktop app or a desktop application, and it's called Quotes Cover, Quotes cover.com. Now, what I really, because I use Canva, thank you. I'll check out WordSwag, for my iPhone, so I could create my beautiful graphics while I'm on the go. But quotes cover, you could actually create beautiful quotes in 3 easy steps. So I know one of the things that a lot of people like myself, worry about, oh my gosh, I don't have a creative bone in my body. So
Mm-hmm.
if you use quotes cover, it's very easy, very simple to use. And like I said, you could create those beautiful graphic images in just 3 simple steps. So I just wanted to have you add that, to your list as well, because that's one
Yes.
of my favorites.
Awesome. I will have to check that out. I'm kind of a graphics junkie, so I'm I will be checking that out. I love it. Okay. Tip number 4. Do not share pictures from Instagram to Twitter, directly from Instagram to Twitter. Do you remember there's a farmer's insurance commercial? I love this commercial, and it says something to the effect, you think you're covered for this, but you find out you're only covered for this. Taria, have you seen that commercial?
Yes, I
Okay,
have.
okay. And it's hilarious sometimes. It's like you think you're covered for this, and
Right.
they show something. They show, a little kid throwing snowballs at a car,
Yep.
but then, you run into this, and it's something
and you
different.
always find out what you're not covered for at the most inopportune time when it's
Yes,
too late.
yes. Well, I am convinced that many, many of our wonderful followers who post on Instagram and Twitter, they have not looked at their Twitter to see what actually shows up when you post from Instagram. So, for instance, you have this beautiful quote graphic, and I did this on my account so you can see exactly what happens. So I have this beautiful quote graphic from my coach, Larry Beecham. You don't need to be fearless, you need to be courageous. And I found the perfect graphic for it. This guy jumping over something with his bike. So I posted it on Instagram. And of course, when you post on Instagram, you put, little information about the picture or a little additional comment. And then you have these buttons down here, and you have that nice little Twitter button, and it's so easy, right, to just click that button, and it automatically goes to Twitter. Well, this is what you posted. You posted this nice, beautiful graphic. But when you get to Twitter, what you have is a link.
Is a link.
That is all you have, because Twitter and Instagram do not communicate as well as we think they should. So Twitter has decided that anything coming directly from Instagram, they are posting as a link. This is not engaging. And so if you think that you're actually posting graphics on Twitter from Instagram, and you're wondering, why am I not seeing this 85%
Mhm.
interaction increase, and why isn't my stuff getting retweeted? It's because it's not showing up as a graphic. It is showing up as a link. And the same thing happens with Facebook. And with Facebook, it gets really a little worse because sometimes don't put, if you just post a Facebook picture and you just share it directly, what shows up in Twitter is, I just posted a new picture on Facebook and it has a link. How lame is that?
Yeah, yeah, I've noticed that too. And so what I usually encourage people to do, because there are so many different third-party apps out there that
Yes.
allow you to share things very easy. Because that's my big thing. And see, I'm talking to the expert because you got it on the next slide. So
Yes.
sometimes it's best to use a third-party app that would allow you to do that. So then when you post your stuff, it's getting posted the way that you want it to post. Because I was just about to say, my biggest thing is just how much time you're spending on social media and what you're doing on social media when you're on there. So you don't want to spend the majority of your time, doing edits and correcting stuff that should have been done, the right way the first time, even though it's not your fault because you didn't know. But
Right.
that's a big time killer
It
to go back
is.
and edit all of that stuff.
Absolutely, absolutely. So one of my favorite tools, secret weapons of being
Yes.
um, effective on social media is FD, IFTTT, and I think it stands
Hmm.
for if
Or
then,
if this,
yeah, if
no,
this,
if this,
then,
then that.
and that, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely, IFTTT. And what this does, IFTTT allows you to create what they call recipes. So if it triggers on something, for instance, this is a recipe that I have for pictures that I'm posting on Instagram that I want to show up on, as actual pictures on Twitter. Now, this one is actually a Dropbox recipe, and it says, if I post a picture on Instagram, save that photo to Dropbox. Now, I have one recipe that I found is that if I post a picture on Instagram and I tag it with hashtag Twitter, it will automatically show up on Twitter as a native photo. Now, there are millions of recipes out there on IFTTT. That's another one of those places that you can just go crazy. I'm like a kid in a candy store.
Oh, you're not telling me. I was just like, whoever thought of IFTTT is just simply amazing because I use it for just about everything.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And the great thing is, any recipe, anything that you have thought of wanting to be able to do, if there's a way to do it, there's a recipe out there on IFTTT. Now, you may be looking for a recipe on how to post something to Instagram that you've posted somewhere else. Instagram at this moment does not allow you to automatically post from third parties. So if you are trying to find something that if you post on Facebook, it'll automatically post on Instagram, you won't find it because Instagram has closed the door to that. But you can do it the other way around. Now, I chose this recipe. There was a recipe out there that said, basically any picture I put to Instagram would automatically post to Twitter. I did not want to do that, and I want you to be careful of that.
Hmm.
You must be mindful of the graphics and the information that you are posting in different social media platforms. And I see this happen all the time where someone will take one post one type of thing and they post it out everywhere exactly the way it is. They'll post it on Twitter, they'll post it on Facebook, on LinkedIn, and you can do that sometimes, but it's not always the most effective. The number one reason is that each of those graphic platforms have different optimal dimensions for their graphics. So you have probably seen this where you have a graphic that is sized really, really nice for Facebook, but it may look a little cut off on Instagram. It may really look cut off on Twitter. And that's because each of those platforms have their own optimal uh, the optimal size for graphics. So keep that in mind. So this recipe worked really great for me because I can decide which post that I put to Instagram that I want to show up on Twitter. And all I have to do is put hashtag Twitter in the comments section. So when I have, for instance, this really great graphic that I made on Word Swag. Excuses are expensive, and they are. And I put my little information here on Instagram. What are your excuses costing you? And I put hashtag Twitter. When I post this, and I do not hit this little Twitter button here, I have the big X over it. Don't touch it. Don't be tempted to touch it. No, don't do it. When I do this and I have it set up on IFTTT, what I see on Twitter is the actual graphic. And
Nice.
graphics get interaction. Links really don't, unless you're talking about a blog post or something like that. But when it's an Instagram link, a lot of people are not going to take that extra second to hit the link and go over to see your stuff on Instagram. Final point, our final key. Consistency. Consistency is key. When you develop your social media strategy, and you have to have a strategy, you have to be consistent. This doesn't mean posting every day. Your strategy may be to post 3 times a week. Your strategy may be to post twice a week. I wouldn't go any less than twice a week, but your strategy may not be to post every day. Whatever your strategy is, you need to be consistent. And I know that's something that we all struggle with. I struggle with it. I'm sure Taria struggles with it sometimes in terms of being consistent.
Yes.
But you really have to work on that. You have to work on that.
Especially when you're adding something new into the mix. Okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. So quick recap. Number 1, get those Amazon Author Central profiles done. If you have already done your Author Central profile, go back and take a look at it. Let me be transparent here. True confession time. My Author Central profile had been done very early on. I think my profile has probably been up there for about 3 or 4 years. I went back before this broadcast, of course, as I was preparing for this broadcast, and I went back and looked. I was going to change my picture. I figured, okay, I'll update that and make sure everything else is fine. Well, I figured out that the link that I had for Twitter was an account that I was using at that time, but I haven't been using it a lot since then. So my Twitter feed wasn't up to date. The blog feed that I had in there was not my most recent up-to-date blog from my most recent website. I took a look at my bio, and I have updated my bio since then. So there were some things that I needed to clean up. So if you have done your Author Central profile, Go and check it. Make sure that you clean some stuff up. Number two, those Facebook groups for book clubs. Those are an excellent way of getting your book out there, getting more engagement with readers and with new fans. Graphic content and quote graphics. Come up with some great quote graphics from your book. It's easy to do. You've already written the book. You've already had those great quotes out there. All you have to do
Right.
is put them in a quote graphic and you are good to go. Instagram and Twitter. Make sure that what you are posting on Twitter is what you think you're posting on Twitter. And look at IFTTT to make sure that your photos are coming up as native photos. And then finally, be consistent. Be consistent. If you are posting twice a week, put it on your calendar. Make sure you schedule it. Make sure you be consistent. Well, I'm so glad that you guys stuck with us for this social media tips for authors, and I have a awesome free gift for you guys. If you text the word renew, RENEW, to the number 66866, I will send you two of my greatest my greatest free gifts for authors. One is a social media checklist for authors, and it includes not just what we talked about today, but it includes other things that you need to check for your social media strategy for authors. And then for those of you that are thinking, oh my goodness, this is great, but I haven't written my book yet. I haven't started writing yet. I have my rough draft planning tool. This tool will walk you through what you need to do to start writing your book. And my clients, all of my clients start with this tool and they absolutely love it. So text the word renew to 66866 and I would love to send those to you. And of course, if you want to talk about your project, please reach out to me on Twitter, on Facebook, on my website. I do 30-minute free consultations for aspiring authors, for people that are looking to expand their social media branding for their book. So please get in touch with me. Taria, turning it back over to you.
Alrighty, Vanessa, wow. All I could say, just such awesome information. And what I really loved about what you shared today is that a lot of the things that you covered in your presentation, I also teach entrepreneurs and business owners to
Mm-hmm.
do just in their regular business, okay? So I love the fact that you went to the profile and you made it specific for Amazon. But what I usually encourage people to do is just do a social media audit. Okay, and
Yes.
you gave a perfect example. When you started, before you might have set up an account and you use this Twitter account, and now you have progressed in your business and you're here, and you now want to do things more specific. Maybe you've defined your brand a little bit more, or even to get, more specific, you have a brand and you want to create a brand around your book. Okay, that's something
Yes.
that people do. You have a book and you're doing a book launch. You could create a Facebook page specifically for your book.
Yes.
Please go back and do the audit. Do the audit. Keep track of what's going on out there on social media. If you have accounts out there that you're not using anymore, kill them.
Yes. Kill 'em, kill 'em.
That's my favorite word, just kill it. And also, the second thing that you pointed out that I absolutely love that goes back into the engagement is the power of the Facebook group, the sense of community. It's because that's what it's all about. And
Yeah.
you want your audience and you want your viewership and the people who are following you, to have that personal touch for you. And sometimes we don't understand the difference between having our Facebook page or a personal page or, having a group. But having a strategy surrounding Facebook groups is really wonderful. It gives you the opportunity to share your information with like-minded individuals. That's what I
Yes.
tell people, okay? Get in a community of like-minded individuals. That way, because it's twofold. It's like one hand washes the other, okay? So you're going to have stuff that you're going to want to have promoted. They're going to have stuff that they're going to want to have promoted. And that's how you actually help each other. And it's
Yes.
not that you lead with that, but once you're in the community, you just can't help. That's the overflow. That's what I like to call it. It's
Mhm.
just the overflow of that. And
Yes.
this is yeah, I tell people I can't stop talking about this because this is the perfect example. Many of you out there would think that I've met Vanessa in person. I've not met Vanessa in person. Vanessa, is a member of my social media Saturdays group, and she is so amazing. She's so awesome. She
I'm
shares
a
all of her
stalker.
stuff. You would think that she's on the payroll. She's not on the payroll, guys. It's her heart. Okay, so that's just the power of having or being in a group or a community that would allow you to do such wonderful things. So if you don't have a group for your book project, you definitely want to create that.
Yeah.
Last but not least, I love, love, love the idea of the apps. Because that's always my biggest thing about social media. How much time are we spending on social media? And when we get on there, are we really and truly effective like we want to be?
Yes.
We don't want social media to be thought of as an activity that's a waste of time. Okay, so definitely could be something that could help you be profitable. It could help you build your brand awareness. But when you
Yes.
get on there, you just have to be not only consistent, but you have to be efficient as well. So I love it. Vanessa, I love everything that you shared with us today.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for coming on. I'm just going to turn it back over to you if you have any closing remarks. And if not, then we'll just say goodbye. But I almost forgot. If you are out there and you are watching and you are listening and you have questions either for Vanessa or for myself, please join the conversation in our private Facebook group. You could go to smsnetworkinglive.com. Once again, that's smsnetworkinglive.com. And if you are following us on Twitter, you could follow us at Watch SMS Live. Make sure to leave your comments, and at the end of your comments, include the hashtag social media Saturdays, because we do go back and we look at everything and we respond to everything. So we want to make sure, that if you have a question or if you have a comment, it doesn't go, unanswered. And if you would like to connect with Vanessa directly, you sure can. You could connect with Vanessa on Twitter at Van Collins. Once again, that's at Van Collins. And she's also on Facebook. Connect with her on her Facebook page at Vanessa Collins LLC. Vanessa is an amazing resource if you are an author out there and or an aspiring author. You haven't taken that step yet and you just need some help and guidance in how to promote your book, get your book out there, or even get your book started. Vanessa is definitely the person that you want to know. Okay, so I'm going to turn it over to you, Vanessa, for the last closing remarks, and then we're out of here.
All right, all right. Well, I just want to encourage you. You have done so much great work. If you have written that book, oh my goodness, you have done a lot of work. Writing a book is no punk. It's just no punk. But you have done all this great work and you have a wonderful message. You have to go the next step, and that is to market and get your message out there. Now, there are tons of really high priced, expensive things that you can do for marketing, but everyone doesn't have a budget like that. These are some great tips. None of these tips I gave you today cost anything, but you just
Right.
need to do them. So make sure you get out there and get that Amazon page done. Connect with some Facebook book studies. Make sure you're getting your quote graphics out there. Make sure that you're posting appropriately on all your social media channels, and then be consistent.
Yeah. All right. So that is it. We are signing off on this episode of Social Media Saturdays, and we will see you next time.